What's going on, people? Welcome to United View and welcome to another edition of your Manchester United news, man. And you know what? This morning, I want to talk about Harry Maguire because Erik ten Hag's had a lot to say on Harry Maguire. He's had another strong outing performance of this run of displays for England. And I just wanted to explore a little bit more about what that would mean for Man United, or if indeed it means anything, whilst going through some of the quotes that Erik ten Hag had to say as well. Because one thing we know about Harry Maguire, right, is that he always plays well for England. He does always play well for England. Another thing I think we know about Harry Maguire, in my opinion anyway, is that, you know, at Manchester United, he's left a lot to be desired for in terms of performing at the top level, which even Erik ten Hag's alluded to. And another thing we know about Harry Maguire, again, in my opinion, let me know if you lot agree, is that we've got two other centre-halves who are better suited and, you know, are better than him in Martinez and Varane. But also, you have to take into consideration that the World Cup's obviously happened. There's news here that the players that have gone out in the quarterfinals are going to get an extra week off. And Harry Maguire is actually set to start the games when we get back as well. And which makes sense because the fact that Martinez and Varane are still in the competition, about to play a semi-final today in Lisandro Martinez and tomorrow in Rafael Varane, and depending on how that goes on, they could both end up facing each other in the World Cup final, which obviously means they're going to need a little bit of a rest when they come back, depending on what happens. But here's what Erik ten Hag had to say about Harry Maguire, which I thought was quite interesting, but also quite routine at the same time. Erik ten Hag, he says, when I chose Rafa, it was nothing against Harry. Sometimes it's because one player is a lot better than the other. I have 2 or 3 good players in the right centre-back position. There are laws of the game in top football. You have to take your chance. The only thing Maguire has to do is train well and perform well. He has games, he has rhythm, his chance will come. He also says we want him to bring it on the pitch for Man United. I expect that from him. The team knows what to expect from him. If he does that, he will be a great player for us. And he said he had a period in Manchester United where he performed badly, which we know, and that's why ten Hag took him out of the team. Then, of course, there are difficulties. But when he is working hard, he gets confidence. You are seeing this with the way he is playing for England. And he said it is clear that Harry Maguire is good enough to play at the highest level. He has for England a good game almost all of the time. So look, it's Erik ten Hag doing really what a manager should do, really, isn't it? Like, he's not, you know, he's not going to out him in the media and ever say he's not good enough. And like I always say, it doesn't matter what managers say in press conferences. It doesn't matter what they do to the media. It matters what team they pick. And it matters what team they pick on a consistent basis. And what we've seen already is that Harry Maguire has arguably been 4th choice centre-back, you know, even behind Victor Lindelof. I think injuries and fatigue and run of games have allowed him to come in here or there. But when the big games have arisen and everyone's fit, he hasn't started since the kind of beginning of the season after the Brighton game. That's just been what it's been for him. He started a couple of Europa League games, but then when it got back to some of the bigger games away at Europa League, he didn't start. But Erik ten Hag sees it as, you know, he's going to have to rely on this player at some points during the rest of the season. There's not going to be anything like a shock Harry Maguire sale in January. And like I said, with Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane going into the latter stages of the World Cup and standing a very good chance of reaching the final, both of them, that's going to prolong their return to Manchester United. When we get back and we've got, who have we got over the Christmas period? I think we've got Bournemouth, we've got Burnley in the Cup, I think we've got Forest, Wolves on the 31st as well. You know, those games will probably come too soon for the likes of Varane and Martinez. And if we're flipping it back away from this World Cup as this World Cup comes to an end and we're starting to get selfish again and think of our own team, we're going to have Lindelof and Maguire. That is what we're going to have when we return. You know, the players that are in the quarterfinals are going to get given a week off. So that'll be Luke Shaw, Marcus Rashford, Harry Maguire, who else? Dalot, Fred, Casemiro, and Bruno. Off the top of my head, that's the ones I can remember. Trying to think of any more. If I've missed any, let me know. But I think that's the main ones. Tyrell Malacia doesn't really count. I don't even think he got any minutes for the Netherlands, even though they went out at the quarterfinal stage as well to Argentina. So, you know, we're going to have players there who are going to get the week off now, which will put them in good stead. So basically, as the World Cup ends at the end of this week, as it ends on the weekend, those players should be back in England ready to go for Burnley. I don't see why not. Or if they haven't trained all week because they've only just arrived, then maybe the game after. But my point still stands in terms that Maguire, is going to be needed. Is going to be needed in the run up to the new year. And is there like a Maguire second chance? I think that's what I kind of want to talk about, right? Is there a Maguire redemption? Could there be a way, right? And this is me just asking you guys, could there be a way where Harry Maguire could show the type of form that he shows for England, where he's relatively secure, he doesn't get caught in one-on-one situations much, he doesn't make many mistakes, and his confidence is high? Could we see that version of Harry Maguire at Man United? The reason why I don't think we can is because, and this is not to completely write him off, but I just think that because we have Lisandro Martinez, who's going to start every game, and because we have Raphael Varane, who, when he's fit, he's going to start every game, I just don't think there's going to be enough room for Harry Maguire to go on that run of games that gives him that confidence, personally. And I don't think Erik ten Hag has changed his mind on what he wants from his centre-halves. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, Harry Maguire, Ten Hag saying basically that Rafa, at top-level football, you have to take your chances. Basically leading to the fact that Harry Maguire was playing bad, so I gave a chance to Raphael Varane, and he took his chance and played well. He's saying that if it goes the other way around and Varane starts playing poorly, then Maguire needs to be ready to take his chance. Lindelof needs to be ready to take his chance. But I also think it's deeper than that. I think that Erik ten Hag has made his mind up on the way he wants his centre-backs to play, on the demands he has on his centre-back. Lisandro Martinez offers us something that no other centre-back at Man United can offer. 1, in his height, 2, in his aggression, 3, that he's left-footed. So that's 4, that he's fantastic on the ball. Raphael Varane offers us something that Harry Maguire and, to a certain extent, Lindelof can't offer, which is, being super quick, being super strong, and having that experience as well of obviously winning everything in his career, where he can play at the highest level possible and do it in the big games. Those question marks over Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof still are there because they haven't reached those heights that Raphael Varane has had. Although I think Victor Lindelof is a fine squad player, and Erik ten Hag's proved that as well. He's happy to use him sometimes over Maguire. But I don't think that Harry Maguire can basically be at the level required that Erik ten Hag needs going forward. Do I think that there could be another injury at some stage? Touch wood not, but another injury at some stage for Raphael Varane, which that becomes an issue over a longer period. And do we look for another younger centre half who can come in and be more reliable, or a different type? Yes. But essentially, me personally, I think Harry Maguire continues to be a squad player. And I think what will be telling, this will be really telling, because the only reason why Varane is going to miss out, because let's leave Martinez out of this, because like I said, he's the number 1 guaranteed starter because he's the only centre-back we have who does what he does. If after the World Cup, right, Raphael Varane comes back and Maguire comes out of the team after playing okay, I think that will solidify everything Harry Maguire needs to know whilst going into the summer, whilst going into the latter stages of the season for Man United, because that would be very telling. Because that would actually go against what Erik ten Hag is saying. He's basically saying, if you take your chance at the right moment, you will play the games. I won't change the team. But I'll tell you something now, I will be shocked if Raphael Varane has to come back and wait too long before he starts a game. Especially now as well. Let's have it right. Raphael Varane got injured at Chelsea away, right? Kind of jarred his knee. And this has almost been, he had a long recovery up until now. He didn't start the first game for France, but then after that, I think he started the second and then was taken off as a precaution. And ever since then, he's played all the games. And he's been ever present at the heart of France's defence. Obviously, Didier Deschamps loves him. He's won the World Cup with him. That goes without saying. But this has been actually Raphael Varane returning into prime fitness. This World Cup's come at a perfect time for Manchester United and Raphael Varane, where he's managed to get himself back fit. So, okay, he may be a little bit mentally drained if he got to the final and they lost with France, or France indeed go out to Morocco, which is tomorrow, which I'll be there. But he's going to come back fit, though. And a fit Raphael Varane returning, does he then play Raphael Varane after a week with Harry Maguire? Because if Martinez goes on further into the tournament, if Martinez wins it and Varane's back, those are questions we can't answer because we don't know the outcomes. But I would almost guarantee that Erik ten Hag has made his mind up on the fact that Rafael Varane and Martinez are his fixed two. And if everybody's fighting fit, 100% fit, he's proved it. He picks them too. So, you know, in my answer to the question that I'm posing to you guys, in my opinion, I don't think that Harry Maguire's form in the World Cup, basically to sum this up as a summary, has any bearing on his Manchester United future in the long term. In the short term, listen, I never wish bad on any player. In the short term, you know, he's still a Manchester United player. Not technically, he is actually still Manchester United captain. And any player for Man United, I don't want him to get onto the field of play and perform badly so that we can continue to say that we're right and continue to say he's not good enough, the proof's in the pudding, etc., etc., etc. Whenever he steps on the field for Man United, I want him to be in the best shape that he could be in mentally and physically so that he can play well for us, so we win games. And we can win games with Harry Maguire. But in the long run, I've seen enough. I've seen that, you know, he's not the top level centre back that we need. And I actually do think the biggest mistake that we've made, which isn't on anyone still at the club, is actually on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, was making Harry Maguire captain. I think it was too high a pedestal for him, and I think that ate him up. And then when the bad form arose and came about, you're trying to shake off bad form. Plus, you're technically the most important player at the club, where the captain should be. And all the scrutiny's on him, and I don't think he's managed to deal with that well. When he's away from England, he's not the captain. He's got a lot of love from Gareth Southgate. He knows he's going to play every game, and that confidence is what helps him. And I just don't think he's going to get that environment and that run of games at Man United to prove otherwise. In the short term, though, like I said, he's going to have to play games for us. And listen, he's not going to be a disaster class in all them games. Man United will win games with Harry Maguire playing football for us. Of course we will. But will we achieve the top aspirations of what we want to achieve? Probably not. And I think Erik ten Hag knows that. It's open to interpretation, though. We'll see what happens when we get back from the World Cup. We'll see how Maguire plays. We'll see what happens when, I think all will be revealed when Martinez and Varane, respectively, depending on what stage they reach in the World Cup, it depends on how they enter the fray. What happens when they come back? What does Erik ten Hag do then in the crunch games for Man United, when it gets to the important Februaries and Marches, latter stages of cup competitions, when it gets to Barcelona away in February? Is he going to go with Harry Maguire because he's had a good World Cup a couple of months ago? I don't think those things bear any impact on what he's going to do. So yeah, that's that for me on Harry Maguire. And a really, really quick one I just want to finish off on was Alejandro Garnacho, Rich Frey from the Manchester Evening News. I was basically saying that Manchester United are relaxed about the contract situation for Alejandro Garnacho amid reports of interest from Real Madrid, as they're happy with the length of his current deal, but they do want to reward him basically for doing well now. So I think that's as you were. I don't think there's anything imminent from Real Madrid in terms of them coming in and offering him something in the summer that he can't turn down and he's gone. But it's good that Manchester United are trying to improve his terms. I think give him 10 times what he's on now, up to reports of that I saw. But he's an important player for us. And look, that Fulham game was so long ago that, you know, I just want to get back to club football fairly soon. This World Cup's coming to an end. It's been great. But I can't wait to get back to club football. I can't wait to get going to watch the boys. And doing that content on us and making sure that, you know, we have a good end to the season or second half of the season. We're just about to get to Christmas. You've got a very important January coming up as well. And Alejandro Garnacho, I think, is going to be a big, big part of that. So it's good to hear positive things about his contract renewal. Smash the like on the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new as usual. And I'll see you again with another video very, very soon. Peace.